man once set out on what he thought would be a simple trip. Nothing dangerous, nothing extreme. But one wrong turn, one moment of distraction, and he was lost. Not in a city, not on a road, in the desert. At first, he believed he'd be found quickly. He stayed calm. He looked for signs, tracks, landmarks, anything familiar. But the sun kept climbing, the heat kept rising, and the desert began to change. The air shimmered like fire. The ground burned through his shoes. His throat dried out until swallowing felt like pain. Hours passed, then a full day, and that's when fear becomes real. Not fear of animals, not fear of people, fear of the slow enemy, thirst. By the second day, his body started to break down. His lips cracked, his head pounded, his strength faded. He wanted to run, but the desert punishes panic. So he forced himself to think. He found shade when he could. He moved only when the sun was weaker. He saved every drop of energy like it was gold. At night, the desert turned cold, and loneliness became louder than the wind. By the third day, the mind becomes its own battlefield. He began to see things that weren't there, hear sounds that didn't exist. The desert tried to trick him into giving up, and there were moments where he almost did. But then he remembered something simple. If he gave up, no one would know where he disappeared. So he did the hardest thing a human can do in that situation. He kept going, one step, then another. Not because he felt strong, but because he refused to let the desert write his ending. On the fourth day, his body was at the edge, weak, dizzy, barely able to stand. Then, in the distance, the sound. A faint engine. At first, he thought it was another illusion. But it got louder, and suddenly, a rescue team appeared, searching the area. They saw him, a man standing like a shadow against the sand. Alive, they rushed to him, gave him water, lifted him into safety. And in that moment, the desert finally lost. Because the truth is, the desert didn't defeat him. His pain didn't defeat him. His fear didn't defeat him. Because inside that heat and emptiness, he discovered something powerful. The human spirit can survive longer than the body believes. And when he finally returned home, he carried one beautiful lesson. Sometimes, the miracle isn't finding water. It's finding the strength to take one more step until help finds you.